Is content creation the new 9 to 5? Have we trapped ourselves in a cycle that will start to just feel like we're working for somebody else? I don't know, but when you're posting to social media, you do find yourself on this content hamster wheel to where you're having to day in and day out post this content to stay relevant on these social media platforms in order to stay relevant, because out of mind, out of sight. And if you're out of sight, you can't make the money because you can't get the brand deals because your engagement is not that great and people can't buy your products because they don't know you exist. And so you're forced to be on this cycle of consistently coming up with ideas, posting the content, engaging with the audience, responding to emails. And it becomes this cycle of just constant trying to make it. But it doesn't have to be. If you treat content creation like a business and not a side hustle, you will find that the way you operate in it will become different. So instead of your content becoming a chore to you, it now becomes a part of a system that you implement in order to get the desired outcome that you want. And at the end of the day, we all are trying to make what? An income, okay? So in order to effectively make that income, it would make a lot more sense for you to systematize how you do this process. I left social media maybe about 2 years ago because I got tired of posting every day, trying to get engagement, trying to make sure I'm posting the best things for people to engage on, and basically chasing after Instagram, which just wasn't the platform for me at that moment and where I was in my life at that time. And that's one of the biggest things. You have to go to the platform that's going to work best for you, that feels natural and organic for you to create on, and that's giving back as much as you're putting into it, okay? That's the first thing, ensuring that you're on the proper platform that's going to work for your type of life, right? So if you are the type of person and you don't want that whole 9 to 5 feel and you want to do content creation because you want the freedom and flexibility of it, maybe getting on a platform like YouTube would make a lot more sense. Because here's the thing about YouTube. You could sit down once a week, batch your content. And what I mean by that is film multiple videos in one sitting, 2, 3, 4 videos in one sitting, and really be done for the month, okay? You would edit those videos, schedule those videos for once a week. You got your content done. You sat down one time in that month and you've done your content and it's going to go out. YouTube is a platform that doesn't require you to get on here and do all the things to maintain your relevancy, because it is a search engine and it is going to send your content out to find people to bring back to you. It is going to find that audience for you, and people will come over. They get to see your catalog of work. If they like it, they subscribe and they stay. And it's easier to build, in my personal opinion, than on social media where you're fighting against multiple different people in that same niche that you're in, and everyone's fighting for the attention, and the algorithms are so different than they are on a search engine, which is why they become a job, right? So if you want to make this a business, you will operate how you do it like a business, okay? I would schedule the time that I'm going to sit down to do my content. I'm going to sit down and schedule the time that I edit, schedule the time that it goes out. There will be some sort of monetization strategy intact. How I do the marketing would be a certain way. So it doesn't have to be a job. It literally can be a business, and that is the difference. To me, with a 9 to 5 job, there's so many of the things I just spoke about that you have to worry about, and that becomes redundant. I gotta get up. I gotta be there at a certain time every day. I gotta look a certain way. I gotta deal with the people that I don't necessarily want to deal with, the boss that might have an issue with me, all the rules and regulations and all the things, okay? Not to dump on a 9 to 5, because get your shmoney, sis, okay? So many people are fed up and just tired of their 9 to 5s. And when you're doing content creation, you don't want it to feel like that, right? And it doesn't have to. So it's so important with content to make sure, for one, you're doing something that you love to do and that you enjoy, right? It simply is doing your content on something that you don't feel like it's a job. So for instance, say you love to cook, you love to bake, and that's something you're already doing anyway in your daily life. You simply set your camera up and you record yourself doing it, because A, you got to do it anyway, and B, you enjoy doing it. And so therefore the content doesn't feel like work, okay? And then you take that content that you filmed and then you think about, okay, how am I going to strategize and put this out? How are we going to make money with this? How are we going to push this content? And it becomes a more streamlined process than looking at it like a job. Think about streamers, right? Not knocking this. Totally, everybody got to do what works for them. Some of those people are just social like that. They love it. They get up. That's what they do every day. They clock in at a certain time. They go live. They entertain their people for hours. That's what they do. It's not for people like me that don't want it to feel that way. For me, I'd rather once a month take that first week of the month. We're going to say this is content week. We're filming our content. We're scheduling it out. We know how we want to monetize, and everything has a system and a place. And for the rest of the month, I can go out and live my best life and not even really think about my business, because it's on autopilot. The business can be put on autopilot, be put on systems, and can be done in a way to where it doesn't feel like that 9 to 5 that you're trying to get out in the first place.